Hello, this is Nia with the Rainbow Cauldron, and I have a reading to do for N, is what I'll call her. And she is basically she's asking, she's kind of in a rocky relationship, doesn't know what's going on. Um, and she wants to know, will things get better and can they work out? And for this reading, I decided to do the Tarot for Two spread, which uses two decks, and I am using the Book of Shadows Tarot, which is a two-deck system, and we have the As Above deck, which I'm using to represent her boyfriend, and I have the So Below deck, which is representing her. Um, I've already shuffled these cards, and I've got incense here that's actually about to burn out because I started this a while ago while I was getting everything set up. And this is an Aphrodite incense. So it's bringing a lot of love energy to this. I've got a pink and purple cloth here, also to bring love and energy to this, to your reading. And right here I have the stones that we are using to bring some energy here. We have the rose quartz, which is for love. We have a tiger's eye, which is for clear thought and objectivity, which you need objectivity when in matters of the heart, because that can be so blinding. You know, sometimes we let our hearts dictate our lives, and we just need to have some clear thought, you know. And I also have some rhodonite here, which is great for self-esteem, and I use this rhodonite a lot for readings because I feel like it just brings a lot of good self-love energy, and a lot of people need that, and for readings like this I think you need that too. Anyway, all right, so what we're doing, um, the first position, and I'm going to actually do this facing me. The last video I did, I had it facing the viewer, but I found it a little bit difficult to concentrate on the cards that way, so I'm going to have it facing me. All right, the first card, first position is, excuse me, it is the state of the relationship according to you. And this is your deck here. This represents you in. So this is the state of the relationship in your mind. And we have the King of Swords here. And then we're also going to put the state of the relationship according to him. And we have the Eight of Air. Now in this deck, air and swords is swords. The suit of swords is connected to air, and in this deck they don't use swords, pentacles, cups, and wands. They use air, you know, earth, water, fire, and that's the association. And the next position is how you think you should feel about the situation. And we got the Ten of Swords for you. And for him, we are getting the Seven of Earth. And this card is how you actually feel. And we're getting the Seven of Earth here, which, by the way, this is the same card, just in different decks. So that's pretty telling, and we'll get to that in a minute. And for him, he actually feels the Ten of Fire. The next card is what you're projecting, what he's getting from you, the energy you're giving off to him. And we get the Hanged Man. And for him, the energy he's projecting to you is the Eight of Fire. And finally, the last card is the advice to improve the relationship. And you have the Ace of Wands, and he has the Elemental of Fire. And these two are almost the same card. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. The state of the relationship. Let's see. You are right here. In your view, it is the King of Swords, and this card feels like a very business-like to me. By that I mean there's a lot of practicality involved here, and not a whole lot of emotion. Almost like you two are together because it makes sense. It makes sense to be together, and not because you two truly want to be together. I also feel like this represents him. For you, the state of the relationship is really in his hands. You're wanting to be together, and you're just wanting him to make up his mind and tell you one way or the other if he wants to work it out. That's basically, you're waiting on him, is what this is. The state of the relationship is on him. And he is feeling, he feels like that this is the state of the relationship according to him. And this is the Eight of Air. And again, we're getting an air card. Swords is associated with air. And air, a lot of air is logical thought, you know, a lot of mental, not so much emotional, but mental. And here, this feels like a very me card. Like, the woman in this picture is meditating. She's aligning her chakras. See the chakras all lined up. She's working on herself and not really paying attention to the physical world around her. And this is where he is at. He's focusing much more on himself, rather than the relationship. But this may not totally be a negative thing. It may not be as selfish as it's coming off, because the woman in this picture is, while she's focusing on herself, she's bettering herself. And maybe this is what he's doing, trying to better himself. And that's a possibility. Or it could just plain mean that he's selfish and just thinking of himself. The next position is what you think you should be feeling about the situation. And this is the Ten of Swords. And, you know, this is very straightforward. It's letting go. You see she's letting that phoenix go, setting it free. I feel that you feel that you should be letting go of this relationship, that you should be moving on. Exactly that. You feel like you should be moving on and should be letting go of the relationship. And he feels the Seven of Earth. And this card, sorry, that was my computer making a noise. This card, if you look carefully, we're seeing all these gnomes down here, but they're all under the sea. But gnomes don't belong in the sea. Gnomes belong on the earth, and this is a sense of not belonging. That said, the gnomes have, even though the gnomes don't belong underwater, they've become part of the scenery. See how they've melded into the rocks and the coral. They're part of the scenery now. So while these gnomes are out of place and don't belong, they've managed to become part of their environment and accept the world around them. Your boyfriend sees you as the sea, and the gnomes as him. Two people who aren't really meant to be together, but somehow working well as a couple. We're moving on to the next card and the next position. Okay, what you're actually feeling. You're actually feeling the Seven of Pentacles. And this is really interesting because the Seven of Pentacles is his previous card, which is the Seven of Earth. Pentacles are associated with Earth, so these are actually the same card from different decks. And that's very telling for one, because what that's saying is what he feels he should be feeling, you are feeling. But while these are essentially the same cards, the different decks have them indicating different things. The As Above deck has a sort of opposite of a fish out of water feeling, whereas this deck is showing a woman enjoying the fruits of her labor. She's planted the seeds, tended the garden, watched it grow, and is now harvesting the fruit. You're in a place where you feel like you've put so much work into this relationship, and you should be getting rewarded for it. Nothing's happening, and you really wish you could be eaten from that tree. You've done all the work, and you want to get rewarded for it. And how he really feels is the Ten of Fire. And the Ten of Fire, if you notice, it's all the constellations. It's all the stars in the sky and the constellations. And what this is indicating is the weight of the universe is on him. And just like the very first card from your side indicated, this is all about him. And he feels that. He knows that the choice is on him. He's feeling that pressure. And that's how he's feeling right now. He's feeling the pressure. All right, the next card is what you're projecting. What you're projecting to him is the Hanged Man. This card usually means like enlightenment, surrender to the situation, or stagnation, because she's in one position. And in this deck, I love this card, by the way. I love that they've interpreted this as a woman doing yoga. I love that, because that can mean so many things. You're giving off a feeling that you're where you want to be, and you're not going anywhere. You're staying in this position and, frankly, just waiting for him. And that's what he's sensing from you. That you're come on sort of thing. What he is projecting to you is the Eight of Fire, and this is Neptune, the god Neptune and the planet Neptune. He's in a kind of dreamland right now. And Neptune is very dreamy and flowy and, not really connected with reality. With what needs to be done. He has no idea where he's going in his life and what decision he's going to make regarding you. This is what he's projecting toward you. Total unknown. You don't know what he's thinking, and I can believe it by all the other cards. These cards are you just kind of waiting for him, and these cards are, him being all wishy-washy. All right, and then the last card is advice to better the relationship. And for you, we're getting the Ace of Wands, and let's bring this up so you can see it. Ace of Wands, and she's using the wand to light the candle. All right, this card means take action. Light the candle. Don't sit around waiting for him to come around. Get him to open up so you two can either get together or move on. Make the decision. And, you're right to be going like this. you're right to tell him to hurry up and make up his damn mind, you know. And for him, we've got the elemental of fire, and this is advice for him. And this is in the same line as this, because look at all that fire. Look at all that fire. Wands are associated with fire, obviously, and this suit is a take action suit, a move, do something move, and this is in the same line. They're both fire cards, and see, they both have the, oops, excuse me, they both have the salamander, and this is way down here, salamander. The salamander is a fire elemental. It's kind of almost like a lizard, but different. Yours is the ace, and which is getting the spark going, and his is the elemental, which is the page in most decks. And the page usually indicates beginnings. Basically, this card is telling him to wake up from that dream world you're in right now and make a decision. He can't leave you hanging forever. That's basically exactly it. Your advice for both of you is basically to get him to start making a decision. All right, and that's your reading. I hope this helps you in, and you know, if your boyfriend doesn't make up his mind, the best thing for you is to move on. Move on to someone who's not going to leave you hanging around. And I know that's hard to hear, because I can tell that you love your boyfriend, and you do have a lot invested with him, and that's showing in this card. You have a lot invested in this, but you're not getting the fruits of your work. And if he's not going to make up his mind, then, you know, it's time for you to move on then. It's time for you to let go, like you know you should be feeling. And you don't need him to tell you how you're going to be living your life. If he can't make up his mind, you make up his mind for him and move on. As hard as that is to hear, but it's the best advice I can give, and I really hope it helps. All right, thank you.